Chautauqua in Greece. This is day one. I'm here with my beautiful girlfriend, Kimmy, and I wanted to ask her a few questions about her expectations for Chautauqua and a little bit about our relationship. So the first question I have for you is, when we started our relationship, when did you exactly realize that I wasn't quite normal with how I spent my money?
I would say it was probably after our first date. I don't think that I actually knew about too much of it. Did we talk about it a little bit?
I feel like we talked about like money a little bit and
Yeah.
like how it's kind of not everything to life on our first date,
Yeah.
but I probably didn't reveal all of my crazy ways.
We didn't deep dive into that. I guess probably within the first few months, and to see how you lived and everything, and it was so simple, and then you talking about just number crunching.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was like, oh, you talk about it a little bit more than I've talked about it in the past with anyone. So it was in a couple months. And no, I didn't think you were weird. It was just like, oh, I just didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think that it's caused any problems in our relationship?
I don't think it has, but I feel like at first I didn't know if I fit your, well, I guess, well, then maybe, because we've had conversations where I felt like I just didn't fit the mold of someone that you would want to be with, just because I felt like I was on the opposite side of how you live your life. And I'm like, I like to shop and I like to spend money, and I didn't think, I'm like 401k, I'm just like, oh, you just put it like, a couple percent, and and then your employer matches it and then call it a day. Like, I didn't even think about that. And so I felt like maybe we weren't a good match for that. And then through just like talking to you more and just like communicating like what it's all about, it was something that like, maybe that is a good thing. Maybe it's something that I need to like reevaluate in my life, like how I spend my money or like what I do with it. And so.
What did you think when I told you I was going to go to Chautauqua last year in the UK?
I thought, oh, that sounds cool. And I was like, well, now you are going to be with everyone who's just like you, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm just going to I'll just join you on the second leg of the trip. So I didn't know like what it was all about, but I knew you were probably going to have an amazing time and meet people just exactly like you, because none of our friends really understood it. They were kind of like me too. So.
And then so like after I came back last year and I described to you a little bit about the time that I had and what it was like, how would you describe like what Chautauqua is and your expectations of this Chautauqua in Greece?
After you came back from that, you were just so happy and you were just like, this is amazing. Like, I just feel like kind of like a new person, and it was just invigorating, and you had such great discussions with people that you met. And it wasn't until like I met people from Chautauqua, like Katie and Alan and Christy and Bryce, and it got me excited, and I was like, no, I do want to like hang out with these people and like learn more about it. And so with Greece and when you were talking about Greece, I'm like, yeah, let's go. I think we just, once you said where it was, I think within that day we were like, yeah, let's go together.
So here we are about 5 days after Chautauqua. We're in beautiful Barcelona in the Camp Nou area, and we're doing the follow-up interview from Chautauqua to get Kimmy's impressions and thoughts now that she's attended Chautauqua and had a little bit of time to reflect on it. So really my first question is just pretty simple. What did we do at Chautauqua? What did it consist of?
It consisted of a lot of interaction and meeting new people, and also just learning about their stories and meeting with just some of the people that are big in the Phi community, and then having them present to us
What
some of their messages.
Were there any stories that really stood out to you?
I mean, there were just some people that were young. They were only like 25, 26, almost at Phi, and then there were people that were older and about to retire at just kind of like the average retirement age. And then there were also just people like in the middle, and it was just like a broad spectrum of just like where people were at or like how strongly they felt about Phi. And So there wasn't like a specific story that stood out because like all of them stood out to me.
What are your kind of post-Chautauqua impressions now?
It was just probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. I know that's a lot to say, but I met so many people, and it was just truly inspirational to hear people's stories and just the empowerment you felt afterwards of like you wanting to do stuff, not only just to reach 5, but just to grow as a person in yourself and to just like improve the skills that you have. Or it's basically like do what you want, do what makes you happy, and do what makes you, feel good. So.
Yeah, I know you were inspired to do something in particular. What were you inspired to do after Ellen Donegan's talk?
There are a few things. So one was helping out my friend with social media and marketing, since that is something that I've always enjoyed but never did just for fun. But why not do it for fun, And like I've always had this fear of failing, but you won't know until you try, and it's not even a fail. So like if it doesn't work out, you've learned something, or you've learned some new skills. Like, okay, I won't do it this way this time, but I'll do it a different way. And I also am kind of a foodie, as you know. I love taking pictures of food, so like why not turn it into something? So we created an Instagram called But First Food Dude. So you should probably follow it, anyone who's watching. And it's been fun. So
awesome. What really surprised you about Chautauqua that you didn't expect?
I thought it was going to be all about just like money and, talking about that. And not only did we talk about that, it was just learning about people's stories. I think the FI was just part of it, but it was mostly just meeting really cool people who had such inspiring stories. And what I've noticed about this group is that they love to travel. And it's cool because you get to hear about just all the different places in the world, and, outside of just going to like a resort in Mexico, which is great, but it's cool to hear about everyone was at different continents.
Yeah, definitely. What, if any, impact do you think this Chautauqua experience is going to have on our relationship?
I know that we've had struggles before in the past, but I think if anything, it's just going to make us stronger. And now we have this bond where we did this experience together, and I've learned a lot. I'm not truly like 100% at that FI journey. I'm just getting started, and I love learning about it like every day. So. Would you
go to? Are you looking at my notes?
No, I'm not looking at your notes. I'm not preparing.
Would you attend another Chautauqua?
I would.
Yeah?
Yes, definitely. But I think that just going the first one, it definitely topped it, exceeded all expectations. So it'd be hard to top this one.